Bismillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir wa tammim bil khair. Alhamdulillah, today we are going to start lesson number 11. And in this lesson, we will learn about the attached pronoun who and how it changes into he. So when we have like the attached pronoun, for example, lahu, and it can also change into kasra. So how it changes from dhamma to kasra. Then we will learn about mada, which is also used to ask a question. Previously, we have learned about ma, and now inshallah, we will learn about mada. It also means what. Then introduction to the present tense. In the past, we have learned about fi'l madi, that is the past tense. For example, dhahaba, he went, dhahabta, you went, and dhahabtu, I went. And inshallah, in this lesson, we will learn about the present tense, which is called al-fi'l al-mudari, and how to say I like or I love something. So we say uhibbu, and you like or you love something, we say tuhibbu. And a little bit more about mudafun wa mudafun ilayhi. Okay, now let's see what are the situations when who changes into he. So attached pronoun who changes to he in the following two cases. Number one, when there is a kasra before or right before it, so it changes into he. For example, we have be, and after that we have who. And when we connect them together, then it becomes bihi. And also, like it is long kasra. And in the Musaf al-Madina, you will see that there is a small ya written after that. So we will read it as bihi, which is a long kasra, or we prolong it for 2 seconds, bihi. So when there is a kasra before who, it changes into he. And similarly, when after kasra, there is ya sakin. So we can see over here that fi. So we have kasra, and after kasra, what do we have? We have ya sakin. Plus, when we connect it with who, then it changes into he. So it becomes fihi. Now here, it is only regular kasra. It's not the long kasra that we have seen over here. So we will only prolong it for 1 second. So it will be fihi. So there are only two cases when who changes into he. Number one, there is kasra before it. And number two, when there is kasra and after kasra, we have ya sakin, then also it changes into he. And it will be also the case of the rest of the pronouns which are used for the third person. So inshallah, when we proceed, we will learn how to change. For example, we haven't learned whom, but when we say, when we have be before it, then it becomes be him. And similarly, when we have fi before it, it becomes fi him. And in Surah Al-Fatiha, we have alayhim. So it was basically whom, and it changed into him. And the reason why it changed into him is because there is ya sakin before it. Now, we have already learned about mudafun wa mudafun ilayhi, the possessed and the possessor, and we have learned that mudaf is light. That means it does not accept tanween, and also it does not have al. And mudafun ilayhi is always majroor. So for example, we say kitabu Bilalin, book of Bilal or Bilal's book. And similarly, we say maktabu al-mudarrisi, maktabu al-mudarrisi, the teacher's table, or the table of the teacher. So this is something that we have learned already. So what's new about it? Let's see over here. And the reason why we have to learn more about mudaf ilayh, because this lesson number 11, most of the constructions that we will see are mudaf ilayh. Now, when we have also learned that man can also be used as mudaf ilayh. So for example, you want to say whose book, so we will say kitabu man. And we can see that kitabu is light, it does not have tanween, and it does not have al, and man is used as mudaf ilayh. Similarly, we can say qalamu man and ibnu man. However, our focus today is complex mudaf ilayh construction. What does that mean? That means when we have more than two nouns. For example, here we have two nouns, kitabu man, qalamu man. But here, what if we have more than two nouns? When we have three nouns or four nouns or five nouns? So what happens basically over here? For example, we have masjidu rasuli. So we know that masjidu is mudaf. It does not have tanween and it does not have al. And rasuli is mudaf ilayh because it is majroor. So first we have two checks over here. This is mudaf and this is mudaf ilayh. However, we can see that now we have three nouns. One masjidu, number two rasuli, and number three ismul jalala, Allah. Now what we will do over here, on mudaf ilayh, we will also implement the rules of mudaf. And what are the rules of mudaf? It does not have al and it does not have tanween. So we can see over here that rasuli does not have al, and number two, it does not have tanween. So what happens? For the noun that follows it, for the noun that comes after it, it becomes mudaf, and the noun that comes after it becomes mudafun ilayhi, and that's why lafdh al-jalala is majroor. So we say masjidu rasulillahi. So I'm sure inshallah it's clear now, and this is called complex mudaf ilayh construction. And why do we call it complex? Because here we have more than two nouns. Sometimes we can have three nouns and sometimes we can have four nouns. Okay, I've been asked to repeat it again. So first of all, we look at the first two nouns, masjidu rasuli. So when we look at the first two nouns, this is very simple. Up till here, it's very simple. Masjidu is mudaf and rasuli is mudaf ilayh. However, after rasul, we can see that we have another noun. So what happens over here? Starting from rasul up to ismul jalala, we will implement the rules of mudaf ilayh again. And what happens? We know that when a noun is mudaf, it does not have al and it does not have tanween. So we can see that rasul does not have al and it does not have tanween, so it will be mudaf, and ismul jalala will be mudafan ilayhi, as we can see that this is majroor, so it will be rasulillahi. Now why rasul is majroor? It is majroor because it is mudaf ilayh. And why it does not have al and why it does not have tanween? Because it is being used as mudaf for the noun that comes after it. So I'm sure inshallah it's clear now. So when we practice, when you look at more examples from the Quran, inshallah it will become clearer, and inshallah with the passage of time we will get used to it. For example, in the second verse of Surah Maryam, it is dhikru rahmati rabbika. So we have dhikru rahmati rabbika. So we have dhikru as mudaf, rahmati is mudaf ilayh, and for the noun that comes after that, rahmati is for that it is used as mudaf. So inshallah, when you look at the second verse of Surah Maryam, inshallah it will be clear to you and you will be able to understand it. Today's lesson is, the title of today's lesson is Bayti, my house. Okay, now we know that Bayt, and this is basically construction, mudaf ilayh construction, because we have a noun and then we have after that the attached pronoun. So what is this ya called? This ya is basically called ya al-mutakallim. What does that mean? Ya of the speaker, or we can say the first person. So when I am talking and I'm talking about something, for example, I say my book, so I say kitabi, my house, bayti, my pen, qalami. So this ya is called ya ul mutakallim, the ya of the speaker. Now we have baytun. Now what we will do, we will implement the rules of mudaf ilayh. So what is the first rule that we have to implement? We have to remove tanween, right? So what happens? We say baytu. And the second rule that we have to implement, we have to use, or we have to attach ya al-mutakallim, because we know that the attached pronouns, they have to be attached to the noun. So we bring ya al-mutakallim. So when we put them together, the construction will be something like this. It will be baytui, right? So baytui, when we look at the real construction, for example, baytu and ya al mutakallim, this one, so it becomes baytui. So is it readable? It does not make any sense. In Arabic, we cannot read it like this. So that's why what we have to do now, this is not possible. So what we have to do, we have bayt and then we have to insert kasra, because kasra is the sister of ya. Why do I say kasra is the sister of ya? Because we know kasra is feminine, and similarly, all the letters in Arabic, from alif up to ya, all the letters in Arabic, they are feminine. Alif is feminine, ba is feminine, ta is feminine, up to ya, all the letters in Arabic are feminine. So that's why we will say that ya and kasra, they are sisters. And by the way, the Arabs, they also use it like this. They say that ya is the sister of kasra. So we will say bayti. In English, we will say that kasra is compatible with ya. So that's why we have to say bayti, and it means my house. So inshallah, I'm sure now the reason we discussed about mudaf mudaf ilayh, I'm sure it's clear now. So we proceed now to the lesson. Ad-darsu al-hadi ashara, lesson number 11. And in lesson number 11, we have the title of the lesson is Bayti, which is my house. Hada bayti, it's a very simple sentence, nominal sentence. We know that hada is subject and bayti is mudaf mudaf ilayh, and it is predicate. So this is very simple. Hada bayti, and the translation will be this is my this is my house. Then sentence number 2. Now, inshallah, you can see that it's a small essay. So we have reached lesson number 11, and inshallah, after completing this lesson, you will be able to write small essays in Arabic as well. So bayti amam al masjidi. Now, why do I say masjidi? Does anyone remember? Amam is used as, it's a dharf, and it is also used as special mudaf. So because amam is used as mudaf, and that's why the noun that follows it will be mudaf ilayh, and it will be majroor. So bayti will be the subject and amam al masjidi will be predicate. My house is in front of the masjid. Then you say bayti jamilun. Bayti will be the subject and jamilun will be predicate. My house is beautiful. Now fi, and what will be the ending of he? It will be fihi. And why we will put kasra over here? Because before the attached pronoun who, we have ya, which is sakin, and before ya we have kasra. Yeah, so that's why it will be fihi hadiqatun saghiratun. Now you know hadiqatun saghiratun is adjective phrase. It is al-mawsuf wa sifa. Hadiqatun is mawsuf and saghiratun is sifa. That's number 1. And number 2, we have discussed that whenever we have jar majroor in the beginning of the sentence, jar majroor cannot be subject. It is always predicate. And generally after jar majroor, the subject is indefinite noun. So we can see that hadiqatun is indefinite noun. These are the small details that we need to remember. And the translation is, there is a small garden in it. Fihi hadiqatun saghiratun. There is a small garden in it. Now in English, the proper way will be to say there is, because there is, we use it a lot in English, whereas generally we do not use it in Arabic. Hadihi ghurfati. Now we know that ghurfa is feminine. That's why the subject has to be feminine, and the predicate also has to be feminine, because we know subject and predicate are equal in number and gender. Ghurfati, that means my room. So ghurfati is also mudaf mudaf ilayh. Hadihi ghurfati, this is my room. Fiha, in it. Of course, ha will not change because ha is fixed and there is no need to change it. Fiha nafidatun kabiratun. So nafidatun kabiratun is mawsufa sifa. Wa means and. Mirwahatun jamilatun is also mawsufa sifa, adjective phrase. So the translation will be, there is a big window and a beautiful fan in it. Nafidatun is window and mirwahatun is fan. So there is a big window and a beautiful fan in it. Yes, fiha will be predicate, excellent. And nafidatun will basically will be subject, and the rest of the information is basically about nafidatun. And also wow, as we know that it is used to connect two similar sentences. Hada sariri, this is my bed. So hada will be subject and sariri will be predicate. And please focus on ya al-mutakallim. You see that ya al-mutakallim always has kasra before it. So it was because basically sarirun plus ya al-mutakallim has changed into sariri. Hada sariri, and this is my bed. Wa hada kursiyi. So it was basically kursiyun and kursi, and after that we have to add ya al-mutakallim. So it will be hada kursiyi wa hada maktabi, and this is my desk. This is my bed, and this is my chair, and this is my desk. Okay. Also in English, there is no need to use say and. So we can also say this is my bed. We can put comma. This is my chair, and this is my desk. Sa'ati. So sa'ati will be my watch. Sa'ati. And we can see that ya al-mutakallim over here. So my watch, wa qalami, and my pen, wa kitabi, and my book, alal maktabi, are on the desk. Now we know that after the preposition, the noun is also majroor, yani it takes kasra. So my watch, my pen, and my book are on the desk. Wa haqibati, and my bag, tahtal. What will be the ending of maktab? Yes, please tell me quickly. What will be the ending of maktab? It will be kasra. Excellent. And why we will have to put kasra? Because tahta is also used as special mudaf. Because why we say special mudaf? Because originally it's a dharf, and it also functions as mudaf. So that's why we call it special mudaf. Tahta al-maktabi, under the desk. Nafidatu ghurfati. Now here we have what we call it complex mudaf mudaf alayh construction. Why we call it complex mudaf mudaf alayh construction? Because we have three nouns over here. What are the three nouns? Nafidatu is number one, ghurfatu is number two, and ya al-mutakallim is number three. Now the thing is, because ya al-mutakallim, it doesn't, like, we can't see the ending because of ya al-mutakallim, because as they say, ya al-mutakallim eats up everything. It hides everything. So that's why we can't see the ending, but we will know that nafidatu is mudaf, ghurfa is mudaf ilayh, plus it is mudaf, and ya al-mutakallim is mudaf ilayh. So nafidatu ghurfati maftuhatun. So nafidatu ghurfati will be the subject, and maftuhatun will be the predicate. And now we can see that, and my bag is under the desk. The window of my room is open. And you know, when we look at the translation, the window of, that means this is idafa construction. Hadihi ghurfatu akhi. Again, hadihi subject. And now we can see that ghurfatu does not have tanween. Why it does not have tanween? Because it is mudaf. And akhi is what? It is also mudaf mudaf alayh. How it is mudaf mudaf alayh? Because we have basically akhun, and then we have plus ya al-mutakallim. So basically, how many nouns do we have? Ghurfatu 1, akhun 2, and ya al-mutakallim 3. So you say hadihi ghurfatu akhi. This is my brother's room. Wa tilka, and now we have the use of tilka as well. So basically, this lesson is a review of everything that we have learned from lesson number 1 up to lesson number 10. So we have learned hadihi, and we have also learned tilka, and we know that tilka is used for something feminine, that is ba'id, that is far away. Wa tilka ghurfatu akhi, and that is my brother's, ukhti, sorry, that is my sister's room. So the translation is, this is the room of my brother, and that is the room of my sister. Then we have ghurfatu akhi kabiratun. Now ghurfatu akhi, again, it's a complex mudaf mudaf alayh construction. The room of my brother kabiratun is big. Wa ghurfatu ukhti, and the room of my sister saghiratun is small. And we know that this is subject and this is predicate, mubtadaun wa khabarun. And similarly, ghurfatu ukhti is subject and saghiratun is predicate, mubtadaun wa khabarun. The room of my brother is big and the room of my sister is small. Ghurfatu akhi amama ghurfati. Now again, we can see over here that this is here, amama ghurfati is again complex mudaf ilayh construction because we have three nouns over here. غرفة أخي أمام غرفتي. The room of my brother is in front of my room. وغرفة أختي, and the room of my sister أمام المطبخ is in front of the kitchen. And we can see over here that أمام is مضاف and المطبخ is مضاف إليه. So the room of my brother is in front of my room and the room of my sister is in front of the kitchen. Now I have a question here. Al-matbakh has al, but ghurfati doesn't have al. Why is that? Why not amam al-ghurfati? Why do we not have al over here? Because ghurfati is also mudaf ilayh. Yes, ghurfati is also mudaf ilayh, and we know that mudaf does not take al and it does not take tanween. Excellent. Okay. Li akhun wahidun. We have learned in the previous lesson that li is used for relationships and also it is used for the body parts. Li akhun wahidun. Akhun is mawsuf and wahidun is sifa. Ismahu Usamatu. His name is Osama, and we know that Osama is mamnu min as-sarf. Okay, now a small thing over here. Wahidun, here in the end we have tanween. And the next word starts with Hamzatul Wasl. So if you implement the rule of the tajweed, then we will insert a small noon, which is called noon al-qutni, and it always takes kasra. It always takes kasra. So now when you read it with the rules of the tajweed, then you will say wahidu nismuhu usamatu. Wahidu nismuhu usamatu. So this is one of the things that we need to know. Again, this is something that is related to the tajweed, not to the Arabic language. So if you say li akhun wahidun ismuhu usamatu is perfectly all right. But if you are focusing on the rules of the tajweed, and of course tajweed is only for the Quran, not for the modern standard Arabic, but just for the sake of practice, so we will say li akhun wahidun ismuhu usamatu. Similarly, we have qul huwallahu ahad, and if we continue, we will say a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, qul huwallahu ahadu nillahu samadu. So we will say nillahu. The rule of the tajweed will be implemented over there. Wali ukhtun wahidatun, and I have a sister, ismuha Su'adu, her name is Su'ad, and again, if you want to implement or insert the small noon to implement the rules of the tajweed, then it will be wahidatu nismuha Su'adu. What if we have wahidatan, for example? Then how will we read it? We will read it wahidata nismuha Su'adu. And what if we have kasratan over here? So we will say wahidati nismuha Su'adu. So here dammatan change into damma, fathatan change into fatha, and kasratan change into kasra. Why? Because there is a small noon inserted over there, and this noon will always be majroor. We have to recite it or read it always with kasra. We cannot put damma or fatha or anything else. We have to only put kasra over here. I have a brother, his name is Osama, and I have a sister, her name is Suad. Now, the translation in Arabic, in English is slightly different. In Arabic, we can see that there is no full stop over here, but in English, it's better to put a full stop. So we say, I have a brother, his name is Osama, and I have a sister, her name is Suad. Abi wa ummi fi tilkal, okay, ghurfa al-kabira. What will be the ending of al-ghurfa al-kabira? Yes, please tell me quickly. Abi wa ummi, my father and my mother, fi tilkal ghurfati al-kabirati. Excellent, perfect. Why? Because we know that we know that this one, tilka al-ghurfa al-kabira is what? Isharatun wa musharun ilayhi, right? It's demonstrative phrase, okay? Fi tilka is jar majroor, right? So fi tilka is jar majroor. We know that tilka, the ending will not change because this is ismun mabniyun, it's a fixed noun. But now we can see that after tilka, al-ghurfa al-kabira has to take kasra. Why? Because before that we have fi, harf jar. So because of harf jar, al-ghurfati al-kabira. So what we will say about tilka? We will say tilka is majroor, but it is mahallan majroor, yani it's in the place of jar, but we can't see the ending because it is a fixed noun. So tilka is also majroor, right? But we cannot put kasra over here. Why we cannot put kasra over here? Because it's a fixed noun. So we will say fi tilka al-ghurfati al-kabirati, and we know that al-ghurfati al-kabirati is adjective phrase. It is mawsuf wa sifa, and they are equal in 4 properties of the noun. Now here we have introduction to the verb. Ana uhibbu abi wa ummi. I love my father and my mother. Okay, now what kind of sentence is this? Is it a nominal sentence or is it a verbal sentence? Ana uhibbu abi wa ummi. This is a nominal sentence. It's al-jumla al-ismiya. Why is it al-jumla al-ismiya? Because it starts with a noun. So whenever a sentence starts with a noun, and that means it is a nominal sentence, it's al-jumla ismiya. Okay, so this is the subject. Where is predicate? Uhibbu is predicate. Where is predicate? Uhibbu is predicate, okay? And why uhibbu is predicate? Because basically it is, when you translate it, you say uhibbu, I love. So when you say ana uhibbu, I love, basically uhibbu has I inside it. And the grammarians, they say that basically verb cannot be a predicate. A noun has to be a predicate, and the hidden I that we have inside it, and that is basically predicate. So ana uhibbu abi wa ummi. Similarly, the ending of abi and ummi is mansub, but we can't see the ending over here. Why we can't see the ending over here? Because of ya al-mutakallim, and as we discussed, that ya al-mutakallim hides everything. So that's why we can't see the ending of abi wa ummi. Ana uhibbu abi wa ummi. I love, and this is a present tense, fi'l al-mudari. I love my father and my mother. Wa uhibbu, and now look at, the Sheikh has removed the case endings over here to tell us that we have to follow what we have seen over here. Wa uhibbu akhi wa ukhti, and I love my brother and my sister. So it's a small lesson, to be honest, and it has like only just a very small exercise over there, or just a couple of exercises. So I believe we can complete the exercises as well, so that we can complete our lesson today, inshallah. Tamarinu, it's on the pattern of mafa'ilu, and we know that it is mamnu min as-sarf, that's why it does not have tanween. Iqra, waktub, read and write. So we know that this is command, and the command is always sakin. Man fi hadal bayti, who is in this house? Fihi hamidun, Hamid is inside it. Now what we need to notice over here, it was basically who, and it has changed into he, because before who we have ya sakin, and before ya sakin we have kasra, so it has become fihi hamidun. Hamid is inside it. Mada fil haqibati. Now we can see that mada is also used to ask a question. Mada fil haqibati, what is inside the bag? Fiha kitabi wa qalami wa daftari. There is my book, my pen, and my notebook inside it. However, the ending of ha will not change, it will remain as it is. Who has changed into he, but ha will not change, it will remain as it is. Man fi siyarati, who is in the car? Fiha abi wa ummi wa akhi wa ukhti. There is my father, my mother, my brother, and my sister inside it. So fiha will be predicate, and the rest will be the subject. Man fil masjid al-jamiati, who is in the masjid al-jamia, the main mosque, al-ana, now. Ma fihi ahadun, there is no one inside it. And we know that ma is used for negation. We have learned in the previous lesson. Ma fihi ahadun, there is no one inside it. Now, if someone knows like the Amiya, the everyday Arabic, they say mafi in the fulus, mafi in the hada, mafi in the kada wa kada wa kada. So basically they want to say ma fihi, yani I don't have money, or I don't have anything. So that is ma fihi. Ahadun, there is no one inside it. Also, please remember that ahadun does not come alone. Either it comes with the negative, ma ahadun, ma fihi ahadun, or in the Quran it is used only for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So remember this, that qul huwallahu ahad, it is used only for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But if we want to use it in everyday Arabic, then we have to use it with the negative. We can't use it by itself. من في هذه الغرفة? Who is in this room? فيها المدير. There is a headmaster inside it. اقرأ, read. أحب أبي وأمي. I love my father and my mother. Similarly, we have أحب. Now we can see that here we have dhamma, u, and here we have dhamma, u. But the next part of the exercise, we don't have dhamma over here. So that means we have to put it by ourselves. Following the example, أحب أخي وأختي. I love my brother and my sister. Okay, what is the ending of أخي and أختي? Yani, what are they? Are they marfu or mansub or majroor? They are mansub. La, they are mansub. Yeah, yani there is kasra over here because of ya al-mutakallim, right? But originally, when you say uhibbu, when you say I love, so this is subject, I, and love is the verb, and akh is basically, it is basically akha, right? So it's, or basically it will be like this, akha, but we can't see the ending. Why we can't see the ending? Because of ya al-mutakallim. So it is uhibbu akha, I love my brother. And similarly, we have ukhti and my sister. Uhibbu zamili, I love my classmate. Uhibbu ustadi, I love my teacher. And uhibbullaha. Now we can see over here, it's clear, the ending, and that after uhibbu, when you say uhibbu, after that, the noun will be mansub. So here we can see the ending, but here we can't see the ending because of ya al-mutakallim, and ya al-mutakallim hides everything. Similarly, we say uhibbu an-nabiyya sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I love Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Now here, this ya is not ya al-mutakallim, please remember. It is the part of the word. So that's why we have to put fatha over there. So remember this. For example, you say kursi. So when you say al-kursiyya, so after that we have to put fatha on that. So here ya is the part of the word and it is not ya al-mutakallim. Please note it down. Similarly, when you say kursi, in kursi, ya is not ya al-mutakallim. It is part of the word. And if you want to add ya to that, then you will say kursiyi, my chair. Yeah, it will be my chair, kursiyi, my chair. So we will have tashdid over here, and then we will have kasra over here. So it will be kursiyi. We have discussed it about it in the lesson. In the previous exercises, we have done it. Kursiyi, my chair. Uhibbu al-lughat al-arabiyyata. I love Arabic language. Now we see that al-lugha is mawsuf and al-arabiyyata is sifa, and we know that mawsuf and sifa are equal in number, gender, property, and status. So why we have fatha in the end? Because uhibbu means I love, and whenever you see we say uhibbu, after that the noun will be always mansub. انتهى الدرس. Lesson is finished. Alhamdulillah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.